line, time to start Oxford Hills basketball.
Inside the Oxford Hills Gymnasium, I'm Caleb Lamb alongside Nick Perry as we have our Class AA North matchup featuring the host girls of Oxford Hills. Vikings taking on the Portland Bulldogs in town. Just the second game on the season for the Vikings, while the Bulldogs at 2-0 on the year, having had the benefit of not having a snowed-out game. A little bit more in-season form. Been a week and a half since the Vikings last got a chance. As we pick it up early first quarter here, shot from Cecilia Dietrich wouldn't fall as she drives the right side. Colby the follow-up, none able to sink that one from just inside the area on the right hash. So, Nick, we've got a matchup that features two teams that were on the exact opposite end of the spectrum last year. Vikings in the state championship game, Bulldogs bottom of Class AA North and out of the playoffs. But this could be a very different team this year for the Bulldogs. We'll talk to you about that in a bit as this one goes off the side of the room. And for the Vikings, this is a much younger lineup than last year with 7 seniors missing. 3 ball drained on the far side for our first bucket from Maggie Hartnett.
Yeah, real nice shot there by Hartnett, wide open.
Portland moving from right to left in this first quarter. They'll kick it out top for Amanda Kabantu, one of their 3 new players into the team from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and that is how this team has been able to get themselves a little bit of momentum going early season here.
So they keep hearing the crowd, but nothing from post.
Kabantu's shot there would not go and out of bounds. Dietrich will take this one and move it across the timeline. 6:15 remaining in our opening quarter. 3-0 Vikings lead. Oxford Hills, who's coming off their loss to Edward Little to begin the season. A hard-fought loss to the team that finished right behind them in the Class AA North standings, which was a number 2 seed ranking for them. Driving inside, and a reach-in on Portland will send the foul, and they will take it from underneath the hoop. Dietrich penetrating inside the paint and drew the reach in, trying to force that one away from her. Foul will be on Grace Stacy for Portland. That's her first. Now 3 fouls against the Bulldogs. On the near side here for the right wing for La Liberty. She'll send back up top for Colby. Man-to-man defense right now. Bulldogs trying to put some pressure on. La Liberty giving off for Colby again. Drives just inside three-point arc straight away. Looked like there was a touch on that one as she let it go, as Davina Kabantu made sure she got a hand involved on that one. Tie up as Portland raced the other way, and that forced the ball out of bounds with 5.5 minutes remaining here. Thanks to those of you joining us here for our MBR Game of the Week. We've got both coverage here on the radio side at 96.9 The Ox, and of course over with the streaming video courtesy of MBR.org. Working it around, still just a 3-point lead, make it now 6, as again the 3-point is hit by Maggie Hartnett. She's got both buckets, and the Vikings making it at least now 2 shots that have found the bottom of the rim. 3 minutes gone in this first quarter. Portland with Nettie Walsh. And contact there, forces out of bounds, will stay with Portland, though. Starters for the Bulldogs, Grace Stacy and Nettie Walsh, as I've mentioned. Shayla Eubanks, who was going to inbound, but now steps off, got the start with Tavina Kabantu and Amanda Kabantu, 2 of the sister pairs that are on this Bulldogs roster. On the other side for the Vikings, Cecilia Dietrich, the sophomore, gets the start with Maggie Hartnett, Marie La Liberté and Jada Adams, and Julia Colby finishing out the starting 5 for the green and gold. Top of the key, Kabantu penetrating inside. Floater wouldn't drop down. She comes up with the rebound, but had to commit the offensive foul to do it, as she had a little push off there to get her enough separation. That's the second personal foul on her, 4th of a quick-moving first quarter against this Portland squad. Dietrich will take this one up the court from Colby. Crosses the timeline with 4.5 remaining. 6-0 lead. Handoff for Dietrich. Working her way inside, and the underneath the hoop scoop goes down for the layup, and that will be a timeout taken quickly by Jerry Corcoran. We'll take a timeout as well. 8-0 early lead for the Vikings here on MBR and 96.9 the Hawks.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
Back inside the gym here at the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School alongside Nick Perry. I'm Caleb Lamb. 8-0 lead for the Vikings as they look for their first win of the early part of the season here against the Portland Bulldogs. And Nick, so far, haven't had much luck moving inside against this Bulldogs team, but a couple of three-pointers from Maggie Hartnett outside have them a little bit of separation.
Yeah, it's always good when you can hit those outside shots, especially early in the game, and set that tone. It also builds confidence for the Lady Vikings.
Portland now trying to get their first points on the board. Stacy driving in, pushed it out wide for Watson, and she's able to get the jumper to go. 8-2. Quickly ahead and lots of room for Hartnett from the right wing. She sinks another triple. She's got 3 of them and 9 points very quickly here.
It's going to, we're fresh into this game, but she's already drained 3 3-pointers. It's like the Houston Rockets last night.
And that one, she had more room than either of the previous ones that she has taken so far in this game. So you have to imagine they're going to start paying a little bit more attention to her as things continue.
Yeah, probably don't want to leave her open.
Vikings able to force the turnover once again, and so far it's been foul trouble and some loose ball handling as they try to work the ball inside for Portland. Vikings nearly turn it over as they had the pass to the left wing side. Dietrich did cross the timeline as she chased after that loose ball and just couldn't quite sweep it back in before her body carried over the timeline.
That's the trouble when you get trapped over in the corner. Sometimes you want to make that pass, but the angle gets cut off by the defense. Great job by Portland there.
Nettie Walsh to inbound, and it'll be dropped off for her from Davina Cabantu. Walsh dribbling straight ahead is picked up by Colby at the top of the arc. Over towards the right wing side. She'll try and penetrate, picks up her dribble. Pass over there and lost for a moment by Watson, who has the 2 points on the game for the Bulldogs. Leaves it back in the hands of Walsh, and she'll retreat back towards midcourt. Right wing side again. Pass off here, and the fired up shot from Stacy hits. That's good for 3 points as she had her feet just behind the line. Cuts the deficit now to 6 points. 11-5 Vikings still on top here. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Portland, trying to answer those threes with their own. That's always a plus.
Dietrich's layup no good, and underneath the hoop. Good offensive rebound by Emily Wallace, and she's hauled down there under pressure. Or that was
Jada Adams.
Adams, who she had 3 blue jerseys on all sides of her there and still managed to wrestle it out. She'll step off the court for a moment here.
Yeah, Jada Adams, definitely the workhorse on the boards for Oxford Hills.
Miscommunication there with Dietrich as she tried to send into the corner for another 3-point attempt from Hartnett, but she had already stopped and retreated beyond the arc, and that one peters out over the end line.
Jada Adams is the key to the Oxford Hills success this year. Last year, as a sophomore, she played a lot of minutes, and when she was out with an ankle injury, it really showed.
Walsh picks up her dribble for the Bulldogs. Again, from right to left they go in this first quarter. 2.5 minutes remaining. 11-5 is the lead for Oxford Hills. And Portland trying to be a little bit more patient with their offense here. Walsh again backs it out. Now pass over to the right wing side. Sheila Eubanks tries to drive and then kick inside the paint, but only finds Colby, who has the easy steal. Colby now going all the way down the right side herself. Able to feed it across for Smedberg, and an easy bunny for her makes it 13-5.
Yeah, Julia Colby's going to be around the ball no matter where it is, offensively, defensively, and, she's just facilitating right now.
Vikings now find themselves in a seesaw battle back and forth, but that 8-0 lead that they established early on still intact. Steal by Dietrich. She races ahead. Kicks to the left wing side. 3-pointer on the way. No good from Smedberg this time. Rebound down. They'll try another one. Hartnett not going to go this time. Colby, though, finds the offensive rebound. Couldn't get that one to go. Another offensive board for the Vikings, and the foul committed Great hustle all the way around, and it's Bailey Whitney who ends up getting hacked on the hand there. She'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Jada Adams out, taking a quick break here, and Whitney doing a great job of controlling the boards for Oxford Hills while Jada Adams is taking a quick rest.
First foul shot no good as it hits every part of the rim and falls off the right-hand side. That'll bring a substitution for both teams, as Oxford Hills will go ahead and work in Brooke Carson into the contest, which gives Maggie Hartnett a quick break. Very young squad, like I mentioned, only 2 seniors and 5 upperclassmen total on the varsity roster for the Vikings. They've got 5 sophomores, though, players who last year saw some time and now will have a much bigger role here this year. Second free throw made.
As well as 2 freshmen starting, our first-year players, started, on varsity as well.
3-pointer, or maybe a long 2 off the mark either way as it airballs out of bounds from Shayla Eubanks.
I don't know. Are they freshmen now? Are they first-year players? What's the verbiage?
I'm still going with freshmen, but
yeah,
you'll see it
okay.
both ways. Just look for the class that starts with an F, and then you'll know if they're a 9th grader or not. Vikings up 14-5 now. Colby from the right wing side. Dribble penetration, got inside the paint, lost the dribble though, and it eventually bounces around into the hands of Shayla Eubanks. Senior forward driving off to the left wing side. Pass back up top. Watson, who has 2 points tonight for the Bulldogs. And leave it off for Nettie Walsh. Walsh for Watson, right wing side. 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Pull-up jumper on the way, off the mark from Eubanks. And that one does bounce high in the air over the baseline out of bounds.
Yeah, Eubanks hit the deck there. I think she thought she got fouled, but no call by the refs. And they're letting them play out here so far.
Not too many foul calls, only 5, but all of them have come against the Bulldogs. Vikings not in any foul trouble whatsoever here. 35 seconds remaining. Colby leaving it off to the left wing side. Pulling up for the jumper, which falls through. First points for Brooke Carson. And she's on the board with 2.
Always good when the the role players and secondary players are stepping up, right? It's early in the season, Caleb.
Davina Cabantu dropping that one up top for Watson. Down to 13 seconds remaining in this first quarter. 16-5 lead for the Vikings. Tie up on the floor. Vikings come up with it. 8 seconds as Colby pushes across the timeline. She'll pull up. 3 seconds left. Off the front of the rim, no good. And a tie up underneath the basket with 0.2 seconds left. Possession arrow favors the Vikings. Or excuse me, rather, no, it was pointing Portland's way. They have now swapped it over. Or I think they're going to have a foul call underneath here in that tie-up, Nick.
That's what it's looking like.
First foul goes against the Vikings here, so that will not be a loose ball possession arrow situation. It'll be Bailey Whitney with that foul. No chance for Portland to do anything. We'll take a timeout after the first quarter. 16-5 Vikings lead. You're watching and listening to the MBR Game of the Week here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care. From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Back inside the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School Gymnasium alongside Nick Perry, I'm Caleb Lamb. We've got a 16-5 first quarter lead here for the Vikings as they are way overtalked the Bulldogs. This one kicked over to the right wing side. 3-pointer on the way from the corner. That one no good. Portland, though, comes down with the offensive board and the foul. But that one is going against Portland, so we will have the Vikings able to force the turnover here. First couple of seconds off the clock here in the second quarter. Foul situation looks like this, 6 against the Bulldogs. So the Vikings 1 away from getting into the bonus. While on the other side, just 1 against the Vikings as Dietrich tries to take that pass as she got across the timeline, but off her hands and out of bounds. Was there some contact, though? It appears yes, and that does not have Coach Corcoran happy on the Portland sideline. And we've got a technical foul call.
Oh, our first technical of the season.
And I think that is going to be on the coaching staff for Portland, upset with things there. So heading to the line to shoot the free throws, Marie LaLiberte will take the first one. Again, technical foul, so nobody lined up either side of her and leaves the first one a little bit short. It's funny, Nick, you oftentimes see players who haven't had a chance to shoot a lot of technical free throws. They will struggle just because it's so unique trying to shoot there without seeing the players off to the side or worrying about offensive rebounds, that kind of thing.
Yeah, all by themselves, nobody around, everybody's staring at just you.
Almost makes it a little bit tougher as the Liberty able to hit the second one there. Vikings will keep possession as well, 17-5 with 7:33 remaining. This one passed in and just caught in the right wing side. They'll feed it underneath the hoop. Hoop in the harm, then drops for Adams. Had to take that one very low, but she did a great job to leap up and lays it up and in with the right hand while drawing the contact. She'll go to the line to try and make it a 15-point lead to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, Jada Adams just doing a real good job of getting good positioning in the post.
And the free throw no good. Rebound down and controlled by Kabantu. Speeding up the left wing side, she'll slam on the brakes, trying to work inside of Dietrich and draws the contact. And you can see this Portland team, why they are favored to not only improve on their 3-15 record from a year ago, but also perhaps make some noise in the playoffs, because they have picked up a couple of players very, very close to the beginning of this season. Talking with Coach Corcoran before the start of the game, that it was only about 3 weeks ago before first practice that he even found out that he had these players available, just recently new to the country, coming over from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, playing basketball at the Y, and of course had played basketball growing up actually at the Adidas-sponsored academy in the Congo, and now over here on this program, and you can see the speed and the experience that they drop, forcing a turnover off the missed foul shot, and able to sink that one down. Nice hustle work, and Kabantu able to make it 3 points on that trip down the court, cuts the deficit to 19-8.
Oh, that was in and out.
Portland trying to pick up the tempo, but they'll quickly slow it down as they get in the half-court set. They're going to try and use their speed in spots when necessary. Long jumper, no good, as Amanda Kabantu let that one go. Vikings the rebound. Dietrich hustles across midcourt. She'll pull up straight away, fires over to the right wing side, and it's poked out of bounds. Some contact around there as they tried to go inside to Adams again, and seeing them change that up a little bit. That's now back-to-back possessions they've looked for her.
Yeah, I like the idea of going back into Adams there. You know, she's doing a good job of fighting for position.
In, they'll play this one back up top of the key. Dietrich leaves it off. The Liberty leaving for Dietrich. She drives in, stops at the foul line, finds Colby on the left wing side. Three-pointer is short. Ball on the deck. Rolling around, finally claimed by Kabantu.
That's the second shot in a row for Julia Colby that she's missed front rim.
And Kabantu with a beautiful Euro step right down the lane as she went hustling in transition. Easy layup for her. Cuts the deficit down to 9 when it had been as high as 14.
Pulling out the Euro step.
Vikings trying to be a little more patient themselves. Colby drives in and the floater sinks. Everybody collapsed on her, but she pulled up for the shot and was able to hit it. 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. 21-10 is the Vikings' lead over Portland.
Yeah, Portland hanging in there, coming back. You're totally correct with that. Like, they're quick down the court. So is Oxford Hills here. So
Kabantu leaving off up top there for her older sister Amanda. Rebound underneath on the missed shot fell off, and they're going to say it was a foul against the Vikings, but only their third picked up of the half.
Yeah, they're going to call that on number 21 for Oxford Hills.
So that is now, I think, the first personal foul for Little Liberty, and in fact it is. So only 3, like I said. But the Vikings, meanwhile, will be in the bonus the rest of the way for fouls. And looked like foot-on-foot contact there as the Bulldogs played it in for Grace Stacy. Stepped right on the foot of her defender. On the other side, Vikings go right down the court. Missed shot, but Adams the rebound and fouled as she put it up with the left hand.
Not sure if it was if that was a shot or she saw Adams trailing and just toss it over the rim to her.
If it was a very well-placed arcing pass.
Well-placed pass, absolutely.
Adams to the line with 5:24 remaining. No good on that first attempt off the back iron, and 2 switches coming off the bench for the Bulldogs. Second high arcing shot spins around and won't flush.
All the way around.
Still a 21-10 lead. Bulldogs the defensive board. Quickly across the timeline they come. Eubanks hands it off there for Stacy. Tried to return the favor to the right wing side and lost the ball. Turned over. Good active hands from Hartnett. Vikings will be slow bringing it up court here. Dietrich.
Yeah, coach telling him to slow it down a little bit.
And that's a 10-second violation against the Vikings, and that's what you have to be careful about. Wow. They claimed it, and it was about 3 seconds with the ball in their possession before Dietrich finally came up with it. She heeded, though, the instructions from her head coach, Nate Pelletier, but he just, I don't think, realized how many seconds had gone by since they had claimed possession of the basketball.
That was a quick 10 seconds, I thought, but who knows?
On the drive inside, the strong right-hand move from Reagan Brown wouldn't fall.
Exactly right there. Strong move. Got the exact, shot that she wanted. Had the position and everything. Just couldn't get it to fall.
Good-looking hook shot maneuver is now Adams. Will pick this one up from the free throw line. The other side, Colby. Big contact as she went smashing in, and that will be a blocking foul against Portland.
I think number 2, Grace Stacy there, might have forgot this was basketball and football season's over.
She was leaning forward a little bit there. She came across. Normally you want to get your feet set and you're at risk of moving backwards. She ended up crashing straight into number 23.
Yeah, Julia Colby is not scared of contact either, so.
Second free throw up and falls off the front of the rim. Defensive board hauled down by Kira Eubanks. Shayla Eubanks on the right wing side. She'll pick it up and leave there. Kabantu driving in. She goes right into Colby, and the foul for the blocking on number 23.
So we got 2 sets of sisters, it looks like, on Portland.
2
right?
indeed, and we've now seen all of them into the game. We'll try and keep those as straight for you as we can. Shayla and Amanda Kabantu, and then on the other side you have, Davina and Amanda Kabantu, and then you have Shayla and Kira Eubanks.
I thought I might have been going crazy by hearing 2 different the same last name, 2 different first names, but.
And the other player from the Congo on this roster that we don't have in the game today is Jemima Matima. And what a first game she had for her career, putting up 11 points, 18 rebounds, 5 blocks, 5 assists, and 4 steals as she filled up the stat sheet, out with a concussion against Wyndham. 3-pointer hit on the other side from who else but Hartnett, who has 4 of those. And Portland quickly back the other side will try along to themselves. Shayla Eubanks couldn't get it to go. Colby pushing the tempo. Ahead. La Liberty. Hard off the glass and in with the contact. No, they're going to wave the bucket off and say that the foul was against the Vikings.
They're going to call her for the offensive foul there. And Coach Pelletier, I don't think, agrees with that one. But, you win some, you lose some.
Second foul against her, 5th on the Vikings. Portland 10 fouls, so Vikings are in the double bonus with 4 minutes remaining here in this fast-moving first half. 14-point lead for Oxford Hills, up 25-11. Kabantu into the corner there for Eubanks, left wing side.
Timeout.
The timeout had been taken by Coach Corcoran before she launched that shot. We'll take a timeout as well. 25-11. Vikings on top here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Back inside the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School, where the Vikings have a 25-11 lead on the visiting Portland Bulldogs, with 3:51 remaining in our second quarter as we approach the halftime break. Vikings so far have been relying on very good hot outside shooting from Maggie Hartnett, who has 4 3-pointers and just about half the points for Oxford Hills. Long two from the right wing side for Portland. Wouldn't go down. Rebound follow-up from Eubanks. Couldn't get hit, and someone underneath the basket found it. Hustling back there was Kabantu to keep it alive, but she gave it right back to Oxford Hills. Missed layup on that near side from Hartnett, and
blocked.
The Bulldogs come up with it. Pull-up jumper. Eubanks couldn't sink it off the glass. Offensive board from Watson. Tie up on the court, and it's Eubanks who rips it away. Watson tried to come up with that loose ball, but it's Colby who comes out of the pile. Finds Dietrich streaking ahead. Draws the contact. Just couldn't quite finish with the left hand.
Boy, back and forth action right now. Both teams playing really good defense, tipping passes, getting in passing lanes, and fighting for the rebounds.
Kabantu committed the foul there and had a sly look at the referee, thinking she had gotten those hands straight up. It was very good hustle getting back there to prevent what looked like just a breakaway easy layup. Dietrich will hit the first foul shot, though.
And if you're Portland, you've got to find some way to, have someone follow Hartnett, because those wide open, all 4 shots, what is she, 4 for 4? Has she missed a 3-point shot?
She
yet?
has missed one 3-point shot, but, right now she is still getting lots and lots of room. And I think that's from Oxford Hills driving the lane a little bit more, looking inside the paint, mixing up with Adams and the Liberty a little bit, and they've sort of lulled Portland to sleep on those outside shots.
Yeah, I'm looking here. The scoreboard says 25, but I got 26. So
this one hit by Dietrich as well, and we hadn't seen that other point go in for her first foul shot, and indeed I think that is an error, and it looks like the scorers are figuring that out as well, and now it goes up to 27.
There we go. Hey, I'm on top of my game today.
We always know that Nick Perry will not be missing on any points that are discrepancies between the scoreboard and the MBR scoreboard. 27-11 lead, and we have a timeout taken here. We'll take one real quick as well. 3:10 remaining. Vikings on top here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered your calls 24/7, 365 days per year. Call now and talk to someone who cares. Get connected with programs for teens, men, women, LGBT, vets, or faith-based. Call 800-646-1166. 800-646-1166. Most insurance covers substance abuse, and you may have zero out-of-pocket costs. Call now for a free assessment. Find treatment that fits you or your loved one best, including teens and faith-based options that use proven gentle recovery techniques. You can get back on track. Call 800-646-1166. 800-646-1166. 800-646-1166.
Vikings still with a 16-point lead as we're just over 3 minutes remaining. Portland driving down the right wing, and that is a blocking foul against the Vikings. As good hustle from Shayla Eubanks there, the senior. And as you look down the roster here, we've mentioned the new players on this Portland roster, so some of those names to try and catch up on. Eubanks, the senior forward, is also joined on the team by her sister Kira Eubanks, the younger of the two. She's the sophomore. And then we have Amanda Kabantu along with Davina Kabantu. And so far, those 4 have been pretty actively involved in the game when they've been on the court.
Yeah, she made 1 of 2. First free throw was good. Second one was not.
Vikings able to come up with that one. Hartnett quickly will try a 3-point ball. That one high, bounce off the rim. And it's the top of the backboard, and Peters out of bounds.
She can blame that one on me. I jinxed her. I talked about her hot 3-point shooting, and there she goes and misses. My bad.
She's still hit 4 of those so far tonight, so a very good job thus far of keeping herself in the game, and she's still getting those looks and knocking them down when the chance comes. Over to the near side wing, Stacy thought about a shot, instead goes to Watson. To the right wing side, poked away from the intended target, Nettie Walsh, and it is off her fingertips, out of bounds over in front of the Oxford Hills bench. That's where they'll inbound it with Hartnett.
Yeah, Oxford Hills is doing a real good job with those, the quick hands and the active hands on defense.
Colby gives it back to Hartnett as they cross the timeline over to the left wing side. She'll swing it back across. Hartnett wants the 3 ball from the right wing side. It was on target but short as it airballs down to the court. Walsh quickly up the other way. Into the corner for Watson. Check that, it's Stacy looking for Watson. Instead goes underneath. It falls for number 5 in blue, but Watson tied up. Loose ball still on the court. Wrestled away by Portland. They'll just get it out for Stacy, who's able to pick it up just inside midcourt. Her pass, though, into the right wing corner for Watson, poked away. And back the other side comes Cassidy Dumont. First-year player into the game.
Dumont only a freshman.
Colby long three-pointer from straight away, just too strong, and it's tapped out of bounds. Will stay this side of the court, though.
Of course, Julia Colby starting last year as a freshman as well, so Oxford Hill's no stranger to that. It's always good when you can get the kids in here on the varsity level, you know, as a freshman, getting that experience.
Nothing new for the Vikings, and they'd probably have even more freshman players involved this year, as you have to remember that you had the 2 Fleming sisters who would have been high school players this year, but of course, Fleming family moving up to Bangor, so they've transferred in to play for the Rams program. But still a very young Vikings roster, and Coach Pelletier expecting that his team is going to get better as the season goes. He doesn't need them to be perfect from the beginning of the year. He wants this team to be ready come tournament time. Three-pointer off the mark there from Eubanks from the right wing side, and as they kept it in bounds, the foot was on the baseline, so the Vikings get the basketball back with 1:25 remaining in our first half, 27-12 lead.
Yeah, Eubanks has that smooth jump shooter stroke, and just not able to get it there, but really like the way she shoots the ball.
Adams back into the game, and she'll give a spell to Bailey Whitney. Dietrich across the timeline now, but still taking her time. Kicks over to the left wing side for Colby. From left to right, Vikings. Feet underneath. Wide open, the Liberty. Lays it in with the left hand.
Real nice cut there, back door.
29-12. And now the Vikings starting to make this one a much more wide open game as we're into the final minute of play in this half. Chance to really make this one a 20-point lead and make it about all she wrote. Stacy from 3 from the left wing side, no good. Underneath the hoop, offensive board and put back from Shayla Eubanks for the layup.
Good position by Eubanks there to get that offensive rebound. Rebounds both offensively and defensively, so key to success, especially in high school basketball.
Dietrich dribbling it and holding things as we run down the clock to the final 30 seconds. Vikings happy to, it looks like, hold for the final possession. Dietrich taking a quick glance at the bench, getting the instructions. Vikings trying to spread wide towards the baseline. All 4 will be running from there as we're down to 15 seconds. Dietrich, still nobody picking her up as Watson just watches her. Now Dietrich will drive in, kicks for the Liberty. 3-point launched, no good. Ball up in the air, and the defensive rebound taken. Portland able to come up with that. Chance to fire it ahead, but not enough time to get a shot off. And that had Grace Stacy upset as she thought she would have a good look from the left wing side. So at the half, 29-14, the lead for Oxford Hills as they head to the locker room. And a pretty good successful half for them, Nick. I think just making sure that they had a good mix of outside shooting and moving the ball inside for the likes of Adams and the Liberty.
Yeah, Adams and the Liberty have both been doing a real good job of getting position on the inside, and if it's not there, they're settling for the outside shots and doing a good job of making them as well. So, offensively things are looking good. Defensively, they're just being super active with their hands and doing a good job of just denying those passing lanes that are so important for Portland's success.
Well, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take you through that first half. The Vikings looking for their first win of the season, and they are doubling up right now on the Portland Bulldogs. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center. Central Maine Orthopedics. OA Centers for Orthopedics. All playing on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal. We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who will get the IRS off your back.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
Call Tax Solutions now. Time is running out. Call 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661. 800-399-4661.
The biggest thing I took away from him was just to work hard and always put my best foot forward. Having him as my dad has always brought a few perks, and I've been around
nice move by Kylie Joyce.
Great athletes most of my life. So I've been around it my whole life. It's been such
Grace
a big part of
Fontaine
it.
of
I
the
don't really
line.
know what I would do or what I would be without it. It's just been like a prominent part of my life. Last season we started off a little rough. Our record probably didn't show us how hard we worked through the whole season. Our coach left midway through the season. Jerry Corcoran came in right around Christmas time, and so things are looking a little bit better for the season. The transition was a little tough, but the team took it with great energy and took everything in stride and just kept working hard. This season, we're looking forward to having his energy around and going in with a positive attitude. Definitely extending my range, hopefully to the three-point line. I'm not really sure about that. And my ball handling. For the team, I would love to make playoffs. This year we haven't done that since my freshman year. And I just think it's a great atmosphere and a great thing to be part of. Personally, I just like to leave it all out on the floor and be happy with everything I've done and everything I've accomplished so far. I remember I was a little freshman and I got on the court for a few minutes, but I can still vividly remember things that I did, what that felt like, and having like the school behind us and stuff like that.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, we're all playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
Back inside the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School Gymnasium, alongside Nick Perry, I'm Caleb Lamb. We are at the half, where the Vikings have a 15-point lead over the visiting Portland Bulldogs here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox. And Nick, for Portland, a team that struggled to get a foothold in this game. They went down 8-0 early, but since that point, they've been able to get some chances going with transition basketball, and that has bothered the Vikings at times. But just not enough shots, I think, falling for the Bulldogs. They'll have to change that in the second half if they're going to turn this into a game.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to change that. They're also going to have to do a little bit of a better job on the boards. It's been a battle rebounding for both teams, but I mean, Jada Adams certainly asserting herself, down there low. So it'll be interesting to see if Portland comes out and continues to run. There were a few times where the Portland coach, he was over there talking about, slowing it down, Coach Corcoran over there, And I feel like Portland needs to run more. Like you said, it gave Oxford Hills trouble at times. It seems like Oxford Hills, with their quick hands and their ability to get in those passing lanes, they're much more efficient when they're defending the half-court game as opposed to running up and down. So it'll be interesting to see. Both teams definitely can run.
And for the Vikings, 29 points for them. They were able to get a good mix of outside shooting with 12 points falling from Maggie Hartnett, while also occasionally getting those inside looks for Adams and Liberty. Not nearly as many points as you'd like to see from them so far, but everybody has gotten in on the score sheet with at least one made bucket. And right now, I believe we're missing at least one free throw from either side, because currently, stats-wise, it only adds up 28-13. But down the side of the points, Cecilia Dietrich with 4, 12 from Hartnett, 2 from Carson and Smedberg apiece, 3 points total from La Liberty, 2 and 3 from Adams and Colby, respectively. On the other side, Grace Stacy, the only triple that has been scored by a Portland Bulldogs player. And other than that, Callie Watson had the first made bucket. It's been Shayla Eubanks, the senior, and the newcomer, freshman Davina Kabantu, who have been the most relied upon players for Portland. Shayla Eubanks, the player that you heard there with our halftime feature. For Portland, a squad that I don't think really knows as much about winning, only having 3 victories last season, but with already 2 and a chance, if they can make the comeback, to tie their entire total from last year inside December of 2017-18. This is kind of uncharted territory for them, and they look like a team that's having fun out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, for them to go in or come out of last season with only 3 wins, I mean, these girls are hungry, and they want to eclipse that and, much more, make it to the playoffs and be able to play in that tournament that everybody wants to play in at the end of the year. So, it's important. They got off to a good start, 2-0. I mean, they beat Thornton Academy. They beat Wyndham as well so far. And Oxford Hills only the 1 game, but, I mean, their loss was close, 49-42 to EL. So, for Portland, they're trying to turn this season into a success compared to last season. And I feel like with the newcomers and the veteran leadership, like you said with Eubanks, I feel like they're going to have a good season here. So,
well, we have a 15-point game at the break with the Vikings on top, 29-14. We'll take a break and be back about 60 seconds from now with the start of our third quarter. Vikings 29, Bulldogs 14. You're listening and watching coverage of the MBR Game of the Week on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
All aboard MBR.org, the place to get all your high school and amateur sports news and information. MBR.org is in high gear with Maine high school winter sports. Go to MBR.org to chat about your favorite team. Find the latest articles, travel news, and cancellations. Or visit their all-new and very popular team pages. MBR.org has everything you want to know about high school and amateur sports in Maine. Coming in February, all the high school tournament action at your fingertips 24/7. It's high school sports heaven. All aboard MBR.org.
Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a coffee shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're located at 855 Main Street in Westbrook. Call them today at 207-464-0002 or request an estimate, place an order, and much more on their website at fullcourtpress.biz. That's fullcourtpress.biz. When you need a copy shop to bring the heat, it's time to hire Full Court Press.
Back inside the Oxford Hills Comprehensive High School Gymnasium, ready for third quarter action to get underway. The Portland Bulldogs 2-0 on the season, but we do have a 15-point lead for the Vikings, who are 0-1, having not gotten their first game of victory. And we're back underway here at OHCHS. Vikings moving from right to left in this third quarter. They'll start with possession, and Dietrich finding La Liberty, whose jumper would not fall from the left wing side. Did not take a touch off the rim before it went out of bounds, so Portland gets their first possession 10 seconds into this quarter.
Yeah, definitely want to have a defensive stop there by Portland. Try to get a little bit of momentum here and cut into that 15-point lead early in the third quarter.
They'll go to Eubanks from the right wing side, trying to drive in. No room, so she'll back it out. Dribbles back up top of the arc and hands off for Kabantu, who finds Amanda Kabantu. Sets the pick. Nettie Walsh, guarded by Dietrich. Good active defense from the Vikings. Finally, Kabantu able to launch into a three, but that one no good. She hustles back on defense and takes away the chance to go on the run from Maggie Hartnett.
Pass.
Inside look does fall, and you knew they were going to try and get number 22 in white more involved. Adams makes it a 31-14 lead with not quite a minute gone here in the third quarter.
Absolutely. She's doing a really good job of just pinning her defender, getting that position. And Oxford Hill's doing a good job of finding her early while she has that great position.
Shot with the left hand from the left side of the block does go down from Amanda Kabantu as she got a chance to stop and pop. Dietrich now the other way.
The
feed inside. Shot. And it is ripped out of the grasp of Adams, but it was only after we had the signal for the tie-up from the referee underneath the hoop. Possession error will go to the Bulldogs, though.
Jada Adams getting knocked around a little bit down there amidst the three Bulldogs. She is tough, that's for sure.
Davina Kabantu picking it up, and she'll head up court along with Nettie Walsh. Walsh across the timeline. Drives to the left wing side. Guarded by Liberty. Penetrates inside just for a moment. Pass out wide. Kabantu driving right down the lane. Acrobatic look missed, and the second chance wouldn't fall. But she did get hacked on the arm for our first foul of the quarter, and she'll go to the line for two.
And, we talked about it earlier. I mean, Portland's getting some good looks. They're just not getting much to fall. And then, same struggles early here in the third quarter as they had in the first half.
First foul on Colby as the first free throw goes down from Kabantu. 31-17 Vikings lead. Portland is going to have to go on a run if they're going to get a chance to think about pulling out the victory here tonight on the road. Second free throw, no good. Colby the other way from the left wing side, spins in, draws the double team, and again, ball is tied up, and it's Kabantu who rips it away, but only after the jump ball call had been made. Possession arrow with the Vikings.
Yeah, I got to give credit to the refs here. I mean, there's been back-to-back jump balls, but, they're letting the girls play. Like, we've had some fouls, but sometimes you see those ticky-tack fouls on what should have been jump balls, so they're doing a good job.
Adams against the double team. Nice turnaround jumper goes.
She loves that little short hook shot.
Almost flung it with both hands, just heaving that one in a straight line at the arc, and it fell through. Adams getting going here. Now Grace Stacy trying to find her second three. Missed it and couldn't come up with the rebound as well, crashing in against Hartnett. Colby the other way. And we had, I believe, the foul in transition for the reach, and well, they're just going to call it a regular old blocking foul. And that will lead Portland to make the change as they'll swing Reagan Brown back into the contest to replace Eubanks.
And if you're, listening on the radio, Maggie Hartnett did a great job there. She boxed out the three-point shooter because the ball bounced right back and didn't allow Stacy to get that rebound. So always important to box out no matter where you are on the court.
And it's one of those lessons that players will occasionally need reminding of, and especially when you've got young players on the court here. But I like how active both these defenses are being so far, Nick, that they're not afraid to put pressure on just past midcourt, and really they're happy just to go ahead and look for those steals. Portland again reaching in for the tie-up, but it is going to be a foul, and the Bulldogs here are coming to play. They're not going to go quietly into the night. They're trying to rip these basketballs away anytime there's a free look at it, but that's now back-to-back fouls on Walsh, who has to be careful.
Yeah, you and I were talking about it, off air before the game about how, in the previous two games, Portland's defense has been, really scrappy and tough, and they're certainly showing it here.
Colby taking this one from Dietrich. She drives in, lost her defender. Nice move for Adams. Lefty layup good. Well, Adams is moving in the right direction as she's quickly approaching double digits, so you know what the halftime message was from Pelletier to his squad as Kabantu spins in the lane, but she did drag that pivot foot, and that's the travel call against her.
Yeah, and back to Jada Adams. I mean, she's shown us just in this quarter that she can, take that shot with the right hand and the left hand, so not a real dominant side, dangerous on both.
Colby here on the left wing side, gives back to the Liberty, top of the key. Dietrich wide open on the right wing, three ball too long, and the defensive board found and claimed by Brown. Kabantu racing ahead, tries to get to the right block. Jumper wouldn't fall. Colby defensive board. She got trapped though in the corner and thought she saw someone in white in front of the Portland bench. In fact, she did not.
Could have been the warm-up shirt the Portland players are wearing.
There are a couple at the end of the bench for their non-dress players. That is a blur of white, which out of the corner of your eye could fool you in just a moment's notice. Cabantu to the foul line. Feed down low, taken away by Colby from her knees. Outlets it ahead to Adams. She'll pull up. Couldn't quite get that one from about 12 feet to fall. Cabantu racing back the other way. Quick transition. She draws contact. Blocking foul. Not in the act of shooting as she tried for the continuation, so they'll take it underneath the hoop left side.
Yeah, she's like, she's like a rocket there. As soon as Cabantu gets the ball, she's just in a dead sprint down the court, putting a lot of pressure on the transition defense of the Oxford Hills Vikings.
It's Cabantu inbounds, Amanda Cabantu that is, who put it in the hands of Kira Eubanks. Back up top for Davina Cabantu. She looks for sister Amanda, will eventually drop it to her just inside the right wing three-pointer, and she buries the jumper. 4:25 remaining in our third quarter. 35-19 now the lead for the Vikings. Portland at least staying within touching distance. If they could go on some kind of a run here, it's been pretty much back and forth basketball, so they're getting the stops defensively just as frequently as the Vikings are. Colby rejected as she tried to come inside for an off-balance shot. Cabantu, what a step and what a finish with the right hand. Make it 35-21, and the lead is down to 14.
Yeah, it seems like, just when Oxford Hills thinks they have this put away, Portland's coming right back and answering, so.
Chance for a three-pointer, and it's heaved up from Carson. No good. It's tipped off a couple of hands. Colby will back it out towards midcourt. Cabantu guarding her. Over for Dietrich. Cabantu switches onto her. She drives down the paint, drew the contact. Off-balance shot with the left hand wouldn't go, but she had an arm right across the face. Cabantu stretching her legs behind the back pass, but she fooled her teammate trying to find Christina Donato, but she was not expecting it.
Just a little bit too fancy there. Looks like she's going to come out. Not sure if she needs a breather or she looked like she was limping a little bit, so we'll see how that plays out.
Adams onto the bench for the Vikings. She'll be replaced by Bailey Whitney, the junior.
Fast-paced game,
And we still haven't seen Eubanks check back into the contest until this point for Portland, so we'll keep an eye on number 10 in blue and see if she gets more active after getting a nice rest. Fouled is Dietrich as she drives the right lane, and she'll go to the line for two. And just as I say her name, Sheila Eubanks does get back on the score sheet with the reach-in foul there, her second. 3 fouls against Portland to 2 against the Vikings here in this third quarter.
She heard you.
Shayla Eubanks, who did have a huge game in the win against Wyndham a few days ago, putting up 18 points, and she's going to be one of the players that they rely upon. It's not just the Vikings who have a pretty young roster, it's Portland as well, as Eubanks, the lone senior who sees a lot of playing time, Donato being the other, who we saw in for just a couple of minutes. Foul shot good, and the Vikings up to 36-21 for their advantage. Eubanks will claim this one from just inside, or just outside, I should say, the left wing arc, handing off and leaving for Walsh to run the point. Walsh slowing it down. Eubanks from the right wing side, dribbles to her left, stops and pops inside the foul line, off the mark. Cabantu, acrobatic rebound. Eubanks nearly came up with the missed rebound shot herself. Cabantu forcing the steal away from Dietrich. Looking for room inside, there was nothing. Eubanks is underneath the hoop. Ball was deflected, though, before Kira Eubanks could get it to her sister.
Boy, back and forth, both teams.
Colby the other way and travels as she tried to go up from the right alley.
You could see on her face when she took that extra step just before she let the ball go.
She knew it pretty much immediately.
Yeah, she knew. Are they going to call a foul?
I think they're going to say that the contact came first, so this will stay Vikings basketball. And in fact, it's going to be a foul against Nettie Walsh for trying to get the touch on the basketball.
Oh.
She's got 4 now and has to be careful the rest of the way.
That could have been what caused the travel, the little stutter there, but
2.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. 36-21 lead for Oxford Hills. Colby trying to spin her way inside. Cabantu stays right with her. Hands off for Dietrich. Outlets. 3-ball on the way from the Liberty short. And the rebound is claimed by Kira Eubanks. But it's knocked loose, and from the floor scrum, the Vikings get another crack at it. Dietrich down the right lane. Penetrates. Tries to go off the glass and in. Gets her own missed shot. Outlets the left wing side. Colby will let fly for 3 and drains it.
Julia Colby not afraid to shoot the three-point ball, and she created that with the turnover on the steal too.
Timeout will be taken here. 39-21 lead, 1:49 remaining in the third quarter. You're watching and listening to coverage of Maine's high school basketball on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
From the front office staff to the medical technicians and the doctors, playing on the same team. Discover Spectrum Healthcare Partners and the power of integrated specialty care.
We're down to 1:49 remaining here in our third quarter. It's a 39-21 game. Vikings on top of the Portland Bulldogs here. I'm Caleb Lamb alongside Nick Perry. Vikings looking for their first win of the season after falling a week and a half ago in their season opener to Edward Little in a hard-fought matchup against a Portland side that at the beginning of the year most fans probably would have penciled in as an easy win, and the lead is big, but this is a much different looking Portland squad with their three new players in from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. For those of you who are perhaps a little bit older listeners, that's the former country known as Zaire in Central Africa for you. Tie up on the floor, and possession arrow will stay with Portland. So they'll inbound from underneath the hoop. Shayla Eubanks and Kira Eubanks, the two sisters being joined by another pair of sisters. That's Davina and Amanda Kabantu, who have been very active in this contest here tonight. Dietrich tied up as she came up with the basketball and is, in fact, fouled as they tried to rip it away. We'll see who they post that to.
Yeah, you were touching on it, the transfer students there. I mean, obviously basketball's been a huge part of their growing up process. So definitely showing off their skills here.
We've seen some great looking Euro step moves down the lane, some spin moves, and Kabantu showing the speed, rises to the hoop, but too strong with the layup, and she came up limping on her right ankle. Vikings go across, and they try their luck on the run. It was a 3-on-1, but the shot falls off the side of the rim from Liberty. Colby, another triple try, too strong, off back iron, and it eventually ends up over the sideline as she goes crashing in to the bench, that being Liberty, who was in hot pursuit.
Yeah, good hustle by everybody on that play. I mean, both teams just really fighting for the ball. Both teams really scrappy on defense here today.
Fast-paced basketball here as we're into the final minute of the third quarter. Into the hands of Brown. Poked away. Colby comes up with it, and it's a 3-on-0 for the Vikings. Ahead for Liberty, and she won't miss from there. Lays it in.
That's just like pregame warm-up layup line right there.
Don't want to blow those wide open opportunities. Kabantu trying the three ball off the mark, and it airballs down. It's the one thing for Coach Corcoran that he talked about after the 9-point victories that they had to start the season against both Thornton Academy and Windham. Pretty good wins for that program.
Absolutely.
That they just need to work on some of the fundamentals and basics, blowing some layups, turning the ball over a little bit too freely. So still very much a team in the works, but you can tell from how Portland's playing this year, they're surprising a lot of teams. Don't think that's going to happen very much now that they're going to have 3 games on their sheet. Everyone should be aware what they can do. Vikings working inside. Missed shot. Adams put back. Offensive rebound and the board. 15 seconds to go. It's a 43-21 lead. Adams into double figures.
Yeah, definitely. Also, got to remember it's early in the season too, so those things will work themselves out as they become more of a gelled unit.
Long two, fell through the hoop there for Stacy. Colby will try the last second shot. No good. And that'll do it for the third quarter. 20-point lead. Vikings extend their advantage by 5 from what they had at the break. And they are at 43-23 heading into the final 8 minutes of this one. We'll step aside. You're listening and watching coverage of Maine high school girls basketball on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Winter People Athletics creates custom athletic apparel, including team uniforms and spirit wear. They support team sports programs by offering a variety of clothing and other merchandise which can be personalized with team logos, player numbers, and names, and various other options. They can also provide innovative custom screen printing and embroidered apparel to create fun and engaging fan and booster items to sell for your team fundraising efforts. Call Steve Haynes, athletic apparel consultant, at 207-869-6019 or online at winterpeople.com.
Our goal here at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to raise your program or group the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, hassle-free.
Over the last 3 years, we've been able to raise over $10,000 every year, which has really allowed us to get the extra stuff the kids really need to run a successful program.
One of our biggest goals at Maine Athletic Fundraising is to really develop a relationship on the ground with the coaches, the community, and the boosters that are involved, and help bring them together and understand how important it is to fundraise.
Fourth quarter as the Vikings have a 20-point advantage, looking to put this one away. Portland Bulldogs, the road team, down by 20 in possession here with Eubanks from the right wing side. She drives to the foul line. Hand off there for Brown, who looked like she might have been bumped on the arm, but that one missed everybody. Quickly ahead. Nice job catching up to that one from Hartnett to keep it alive, and they'll reset up top to Colby. Drives the right lane. Long runner goes off glass and down. 45-23 lead as we're into play in the fourth quarter. Alongside Nick Perry, I'm Caleb Lamb. Thanks for joining us here on 96.9 Maine's The Ox, and of course, to those of you listening on 780 on the AM side, and for those of you joining us on MBR.org for our Game of the Week. As a long three-pointer rattles down from Eubanks. She has been held pretty much in check for Portland to this point, but she can get things going if she starts to feel it shooting from deep.
Absolutely. Big three-pointer there. Cuts it down to under 20 here.
Eubanks into the right wing corner again as Portland quickly forces another possession. Eubanks telegraphed that one, though. Off to the races is Hartnett. Trailing from behind, though, and she's fouled. Couldn't get the bucket to go.
Yeah, good job again, getting into the passing lane and just the quick hands on defense. Can't state it enough. Oxford Hills is doing a real good job.
Give some credit defensively there to Grace Stacy, who came steaming back and was able to at least get contact there. That's her third personal. And the first one rattles home.
Pushing that lead back to 20.
I was going to say 46-26 the advantage. And Hartnett, who is the team leader in points right now. 13
How many does she have? 13?
She has put home so far, trying to make it an even 14 instead of the Baker's dozen. And, of course, she swishes it on cue. Vikings dropping quickly into their defensive set. They'll just pick them up inside the arc. And that almost seems to stymie Portland a little bit as they've been trying to run. So with the Vikings getting back so quickly on defense, they have to go into half-court sets. Eubanks into the corner for Brown. Right wing side. She holds onto it there. Gives off to Amanda Cabantu. Trying to get free from Liberty. Shuffles back into the arms of Brown. Cabantu, right wing side. On the dribble now. Penetrating inside, drew some contact. Didn't get a shot away, but they will call it a blocking foul. And Cabantu just so good at finding even a tiny sliver of space to wriggle her way through. Drew the foul on the Liberty, her third.
Yeah, doing a real good job of creating her own shot. And, you know, you talked about the half-court set. They just seem so much more comfortable when they're running up and down the court, you know, getting those shots than in, you know, the slower-paced half-court set.
First one no good from Cabantu, and I think that's just because they have a little bit more space that they can have those free areas of the court to run into and showcase their speed. Cabantu's second off the front of the rim, no good. Defensive board from Adams, and Colby under full court press gets around Cabantu, drives in, pulls up at the free throw line, swishes it.
Julia Colby, the sophomore, is money from the free throw line.
Well, she's quickly approaching double figures as well as Eubanks fires off balance shot, backed up on the defense, on the offensive board, I should say rather, from Nettie Walsh. Here's Cabantu from the three-point line for Amanda, the other freshman player, and she couldn't get that one to go. Colby will outlet this one ahead, and again Portland gets caught too far up court. Easy layup for Adams.
Boy, they had a 3-on-none out on the break at Oxford Hills. Could it be that Portland's tiring? I mean, this has been an up-and-down game all night long.
They have been swarming, and it's been oftentimes the double team in the front court after they've lost possession that they're trying to win it back, which, as you can see, just hasn't been working. As soon as someone gets a pass ahead, there's too many bodies going the other way. Brown fouled as she let the shot go. She'll head to the line with 5:09 remaining in this fourth quarter, 51-26. The lead quickly climbing for the Vikings.
If you're Coach Pelletier, you got to like that, you know, three of your players are out on the break before anybody from Portland can get back. Just loving that hustle.
First free throw down and good from Brown, so her first point of the game. And some substitutions coming on. Chance to get some game time in for a few players off the bench for Portland. Eubanks heading to the bench. We'll see if she comes back in. Brown, second one up, no good off the back iron. And in the scrum, Kira Eubanks couldn't come up with it. Colby leading a 3-on-1 charge. Driving in, she's fouled, and that's going to be the fifth on Nettie Walsh, who is gone.
Yeah, it looks like Molly Page came in for Portland as a sub, and then is it Kira Eubanks came in as well?
We did see her as well, and I don't think they've noticed that it's going to be the fifth on number 4. So, and there they go. They've gone ahead and gotten it up there, so the disqualification for her. Portland bench already had noticed, though, so they'll go ahead and make the swap out as in comes Callie Watson in her place.
Some playing time for some of the other girls here.
And they need to get another one as well, as Christina Donato, the other senior on the roster, will come in to make it 5 on the court.
Sporting the 00. Always one of my favorite numbers.
Colby to the line here. First shot up and through. As you said, money from the free throw line, and she'll try to hit the next one to make it 3 players into double figures for the Vikings. And swirls it about 6 times around the inside of the hoop before it does fall through. 53-27.
That's when you're having a good night.
Under 5 minutes to play here. Cabantu, nice shake and bake move underneath the hoop. She finishes. Amanda Cabantu all of a sudden has come to life, as if on cue when Davina Cabantu had seemed to start to cool off. Colby.
Got to pick your sister up.
Into the right wing corner there. They'll put it back up top. 3-point fired from Carson. Too strong. Put back opportunity. Just missed the mark, but they'll get another look into the hands of Jade Smedberg. And she'll reset for Colby. Spins, cuts into the lane, and fired an off-balance layup. And it does not fall through, but of course, you heard the whistle for the contact on the arm.
Yeah, both teams really just crashing hard on the boards.
And it's not that there's been some room to penetrate down low there. There's been 2, oftentimes 3 players set up inside the paint defensively. But there have been those little gaps to try and contort your body around. And as long as those feet are shuffling, it's not going to be an offensive foul. Adams out of the game here as Colby back at the line. Is it the first?
Bailey Whitney for Oxford Hills came in.
Second one no good for her. And the travel down on the other side as Donato shuffling the feet when she picked up the basketball. So 4:23 remaining. Vikings up 54-29.
A lot of contact there. I think Donato was hoping for a foul, but nothing doing on that.
Cecilia Dietrich driving and leaving that one off on the right wing side. It goes to Colby straight away. Again, she gets around a couple, but she double dribbled.
She made the move and then decided she wanted to shoot, and at the very last second saw the opening and put the ball down again. It was very subtle, but good job by the refs noticing that.
She was in 2 minds there. Shayla Eubanks has checked back into the contest. Now a long shot from Amanda Cabantu goes through. That's a 3-pointer. Yes, it is. So she is now into double figures all of a sudden. And all of them pretty much coming here in this 4th quarter. Colby to the right wing side. Leaves it off Dumont. Long shot, too strong. Falls over to the left side wing where the Portland Bulldogs have a defensive board. Watson. She'll break containment, cross the timeline. Straight away to the right wing side for Eubanks. Shayla Eubanks dribbling to the middle on her left-hand side. Picks it up, leaves it off here instead for younger sister Kira. Amanda Cabantu on the dribble. Finds Shayla Eubanks on the right wing side. Again, she drives over towards the top of the key. Let one fly that was in and out.
Boy,
and
good
nice
good
hustle
rebound.
and work down low from Amanda Cabantu, who just somehow got that ball away from everybody else for the putback, too.
Yeah, she's just everywhere on the court, offensively, defensively.
She's got some pent-up energy to get rid of before the long bus ride home tonight. Pass deflected, but kept alive for the Vikings by Cassidy Dumont into the left wing corner. Colby with under 3 minutes remaining. 54-34, the lead. Still at 20 points for Oxford Hills. Dumont drives in, drew some attention, leaves for Colby to hit the 3.
Can't leave her open.
Well, she's tied for the team lead in points with another player who's been good from beyond the arc. That was Maggie Hartnett, who had 3 of her triples back in the first quarter. Timeout taken with 2:39 remaining from Portland. Vikings 57-34. We'll take a quick break here on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Falmouth Orthopedic Center, Central Maine Orthopedics, OA Centers for Orthopedics, all play on the same team. Maine's top orthopedic practices have joined forces for more efficient and affordable orthopedic care. Introducing Spectrum Orthopedics.
2:39 remaining here in our fourth quarter. The Vikings on their way to picking up their first win of the season as some of the fans starting to put the warm coats back on and getting ready to head out of the gymnasium here in South Paris.
Are you insinuating it's cold outside today?
Oh, it is freezing cold outside. Winter has arrived, but the action on the court heating up, goes the old cliche, as driving in is Kabantu could not hit for Portland. Vikings with a very good game here, just their second of the season, as the cold weather is thankfully not snowy weather, which would have perhaps had another delayed game, so they're happy to be on the court and a chance to get this first win on the board after losing the season opener to Edward Little. Vikings, of course, looking to make it 3 straight trips to the regional finals since they've had now the switch to Class AA, making it 5 divisions of basketball. As Portland turns it over here out of bounds, Vikings will take it. Vikings made the game back in the first year of the class reclassification 2 seasons ago, and then were in the state championship last year for the loss to Gorham. Hoping maybe, just maybe, they can go one step further this time around and take that gold ball.
Yep.
Dumont leaving it off there for the Emily Corbett, the new player who just checked in. That's the senior who cannot hit the jumper there, so the bench is pretty much emptied. Both teams getting some players on the court for some extra time. Kabantu, and that is, sorry, I can't say younger or older of them because they are the same age. It's Davina Kabantu who was underneath the hoop that time on the court there with Amanda. You would think, if you looked at just the roster-wise here, there's a lot of freshman and sophomore players on the court. Oh, you're getting the younger players some time, but a lot of these players are main players for their sides, respectively.
Absolutely. You also got to remember Portland missing one of their premier players tonight too. So, I mean, it's a 23-point deficit, but I mean, still, when you're missing a key player, it wears on you a little bit.
That's Jemima Motima. She was the 3rd player along with the 2 Kabantus who had just joined this program 3 short weeks ago, as they are new, not only students to Portland High School, but newly into the country as well from the Democratic Republic of Congo, but good basketball players.
How many rebounds did you say she had in that first game?
18 in the first game and 11 points to boot as they picked up a surprise win over Thornton Academy.
18 rebounds.
They have been missing that a little bit, but you can see how this team has earned their wins. They averaged a 9-point margin of victory coming in. This is a scrappy and fast team as the ball deflects out of bounds, and Amanda Kabantu will inbound from underneath the hoop on the left side.
Yeah, 18 rebounds is doing work.
Finds Davina Kabantu. Eubanks, the senior, and the go-to scorer, really, you could say, in terms of leadership. Happy to have some help, but she cannot hit that one with the left hand. Ball forced away, nearly a steal from Corbett. Underneath, though, and the foul is drawn, as going up strong was Kira Eubanks. She's the sophomore, Shayla the senior. So again, 2 sets of sisters on this Portland squad. And they are a very young team as well, but hoping that this is going to be a building year as the first one no good. But we've talked enough about Portland here, Nick. This has been a very, very strong game for Oxford Hills as they are closing in on 60 points. They may not get it with some of the bench players on there. First free throw and second free throw missed, but how about that? That is a putback too from Shayla Eubanks, who now she will go to the line and a chance to finish off the 3-point play.
Might as well get your own rebound and, get an extra shot at it. 3rd time's a charm, Caleb.
And they are going to, well, hang on a second. So initially they didn't put 2 points on the board. Now they have, but now they're having it underneath the hoop. So
I think she made the putback, but there was a loose ball foul as well.
All right, now underneath the hoop, they'll just inbound it and have the layup up and in. So it doesn't matter for Portland as they make it 38 points. Down to 45 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Dietrich across the timeline, picked up by Davina Kabantu. Playing it over for Carson. They'll just play pass at the top here. Kabantu, though, she wants more points. She is not letting up the defensive pressure one bit as we hit the 30-second mark. 57-38. The lead has dipped below 20 points. Portland, who trailed 15 at the half, was going to need a very strong effort to get back. Kabantu nearly came up with a steal. Dietrich able to get it back over there for Carson. And again, they pass it around the arc. Dietrich holding just in front of the midcourt line in front of the scorer's table. Everybody up off the bench for the Vikings. They are not going to get a final shot away, just holding this one out. Final seconds come off, and Oxford Hills in the win column. Their second game of the season, their first victory, and a strong performance all the way around, shooting the deep ball and getting good looks underneath the hoops. A 57-38 win for them, Nick.
Yeah, not to Bill Belichick it, but, you know, it was complimentary basketball, both on the defensive and offensive end. You know, they were, you know, hustling, scrapping on the defensive end, the boards, everywhere. You know, all around just a great game for Oxford Hills. You know, they missed some open shots, but, I mean, it's only the second game of the season, you know what I mean? You can practice for a couple weeks before you start the season, but until you get into that in-game action, back and forth type of stuff against other teams, that's when, you know, you start to get into the mode and, you know, it all comes together. Like, this is only second game for Oxford Hills, third for Portland, so we're still super early in the season, but, man, the future looks bright for Portland.
Well, we will wrap up our coverage of this one when we come back, and we'll also tell you who our Bessie Motors player of the game is as well. Stay tuned. Vikings coming up with a 57-38 win. We'll tell you all about it when we return here. You're listening and watching the coverage of girls high school basketball on MBR.org and 96.9 The Ox.
Full Court Press is on your team. Full Court Press is more than just a coffee shop. Some of their print services include color copies, black and white copies, posters, bindings, calendars, cards, business cards, and every door direct mail. They're